We're back again, Stars on the Mic. I'm Elton Aguilera. Today, we're speaking to the first sheriff in Miami-Dade County since 1966. Today, we have the pleasure to speak to.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Rosie Cordero Stutz, and I'm your sheriff.
We're going to speak about the police department, how they support autism acceptance, inclusion. They handle situations with people with special needs. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
So I have to say, as the first sheriff in Miami-Dade since 1966, how's that been? Like you were just elected. How does that feel? How's it been so far?
It's been amazing, but very, very fast and furious pace. For me, it's very important that I'm able to connect with the community and to be able to create contact points with them. So I've really tried to be out there at every event and every community. I've created events, Share with Sheriff,
Yes.
and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, we see you're everywhere. Like we see on Instagram, on the news, you're everywhere. So kudos to you. That's a lot of work, but you're doing it. You're out there for the community. You are for the community.
Yes, absolutely.
The first question, like how does a Sheriff Rosie, how do you support autism, inclusion, acceptance? Like, what's your stance on that?
Well, first and foremost, we absolutely recognize it's such an important piece that we have to address in our community. I think the statistics are that every person or one person removed knows someone with autism.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that just goes to show you what an impact it is in our community. And as we provide services, the first thing that we did is we partnered with our commission, and we've gone through training. Every one of our deputies has been through training to give them the skills that they need in order to engage with people who may not have the ability to communicate regularly as someone without autism can.
Yeah. This is incredible. So what other ways does the sheriff and the police department support autism and inclusion?
So we have an amazing program, and it's called Occupant with Autism. And what you do is you register. If you have someone in your family that has autism, you can register them, and you can find that link on our website, www.mdso.com. And when you register, you will be provided 2 decals. If I may show you our great decal, here it is. We work in partnership with Miami-Dade County and Commissioner Regalado.
Yes.
And basically that decal, it can be placed at a front door or window of a residence or a vehicle.
Yes.
So that when a deputy or police officer comes in contact with them and they see this decal, they now know that they may be encountering someone who may not be able to communicate the same way that we're used to. And that's the first sign. So then the next thing is that we provide them the skills that they need in order to be able to communicate to the best of our ability. And I think that really just, it brings awareness. So every deputy responding is now able to kind of understand what a situation they're entering into.
Yes, we love the decal program, Commissioner Regalado. We've been to events that help promote it. Like, we're big advocates for it. I believe the more families that have it, the better it is for police and fire rescue, any service people, that they know how to approach a situation with, understand there may be someone there who can't communicate
Absolutely,
properly. Yes.
absolutely. And so often, more often than not, it is the lack of knowing that they're entering into this situation that can sometimes escalate a situation.
Yes.
And so the decal just allows, it kind of is a little flag that allows any first responder, just like you said, to say, hey, there might be something here that I need to know before I do my job.
Can you explain more about the process?
Yes. So, for example, if there is a need for someone to call 911, our communications department is also trained to ask those questions. And also, we encourage anyone calling in, if you have that information, please provide it. That dispatcher will then give it to the dispatch deputy, so that when they're on their way, they know what they're hopefully responding to. The second thing is that we dispatch a crisis intervention team, trained individuals, deputies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So already we're going to dispatch those calls with officers and deputies that are more highly trained, right?
So
to be able to handle. Oh
Really?
yeah, I'm going to take it one step further. We also have what's called a crisis response unit. The crisis response unit are even more highly trained deputies, and they respond with a counselor. And if they're available, they will respond to these calls as well. And what that means is that you have a trained health professional on scene alongside the deputy.
So they can make determinations, like if someone's with special needs, autism, they're unable to respond or communicate, they'll be able to identify it and help provide whatever services or help is needed.
Exactly. And they are actually enabled to follow up with that family.
So
that if there's a support system, we can open a case management system and provide resources to the family that they might not otherwise have had.
I like that. So the officers there, they secure the area, and then a crisis team helps and makes whatever accommodations or services needed for the individual with special needs. I like that. It's very cool.
Absolutely. And it is part of a program that we've had. We had it prior to as a pilot program in 3 of our district areas.
Okay.
And underneath the sheriff's office, I have expanded it to the entire county.
I love it. That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear all this. So tell me, what kind of training do deputies have to handle situations involving individuals with special needs, autism, and stuff like that?
So our deputies training on how to handle these situations begins in the police academy. So they
at the
start
beginning.
training right from the beginning. So, and in addition to their training at the police academy, every year that they're on the job, they are mandated to have a refresh training, annual training when it comes to handling these kind of situations. And that particular training is actually sponsored and taught by the University of Miami.
Oh, the card. We love them.
Yeah, they've been working with us for a long time. And then additionally, the final piece, as I mentioned, crime response, the crisis response unit, the
Okay.
CRU, they have even additional training. I'm talking like 120 hours of additional mandatory
wow.
training. Yes, that every deputy goes through.
Okay, and then you said so they have to go every year? They have to keep going?
Yes, they continue. We are constantly training them again. We need to address, upcoming information,
Yeah.
trends. It always changes,
It's
right?
always changing.
It's always changing.
So just like in the school system, we go through trainings almost every month. They're always updating something. We got to be retrained in this. So I'm happy to hear that. So the police are constantly training, evolving as new information is coming out.
Exactly.
You implement it. That's very
Exactly.
good. Okay, so I have to say a big hit with our campers every time we have a camp or class is the police canine therapy dogs. They come out, the kids, they swarm them, the kids love them.
Yeah.
It's incredible. We always love having them. Can you tell us about that program?
Absolutely. So we call it our support dog
Got it.
system. And we have, they are trained in helping people to deal with traumatic incidents, to help
Okay.
calm people during these situations. And I'm happy to share with you that we don't just share them outwardly with our community, we actually share them internally as well.
Oh.
We bring our support dogs to critical incidents so
Okay.
that deputies can also benefit from their service. And they are assigned to our Community Affairs Bureau. So we really get to touch every corner of this county with our support dogs.
Oh, I know whenever the dogs come, the kids they go crazy. Like, oh my God, the dogs are here, the dogs are here. And I think the staff have more for the dogs than the kids. So
Well, you should see the support dogs in the hallways of our headquarters building. They have the exact same effect.
well, then, yeah, they're always welcome with us. Okay, so one of the questions we have to ask. We've worked with children, young adults, even adults on the autism spectrum and other related disabilities. We've seen an array of behaviors. We've seen young adults having a meltdown. We've seen some behaviors. Sometimes clothes come off, they get aggressive. We don't know, a situation like that, police are called, they arrive on scene. How do they approach a situation, uphold the professional standards while maintaining the dignity of the individual you're servicing?
Yeah. So I that's such an important question. I think it starts off with training.
Okay.
It starts off with how we train our deputies, allowing them to be able to identify that is what's going on. Additionally, ensuring that we're communicating with our whoever's calling in
Okay.
or the community in general, right? So, for example, if we talked earlier about registering, right,
Yes.
with the decal program, that would be information that the deputy have. Now they're coming and responding in a manner that is from a different space.
Okay.
Additionally, is calls like that have those, there are key factors that we also clue into. We will dispatch a crisis response unit
Yes.
team that
Okay.
has highly trained individuals and a healthcare professional on site to be
Okay.
able to help us mitigate that. But let's talk about that, if I may.
Yes.
Because when we get on the scene of something like that, that individual may be in crisis to the level that they need to be Baker Acted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a Baker Act is when we identify that individual could possibly harm themselves or harm others, right? And that the right place for the moment is to take them to a medical facility. And so the deputy has the authority to Baker Act an individual in that
Yes.
case. But sometimes in that meltdown and in that situation, a crime can be committed.
Yeah.
And then that individual may be charged with a crime as well. And so what happens in that situation is that the individual is charged with the crime, they are arrested, but they're still taken to a facility and provided support mentally as well.
Okay, so then the Baker Act versus the arrest, it's always a hot topic,
Yeah.
But eventually, once this area is secure, the individual is safe and the area is safe, then the determination by the officer or the crisis team, like you mentioned.
Correct.
Makes a determination whether Baker Act, crime, or a manifestation of disability. You know, some behaviors happen because of the disability. That's just what they do.
Absolutely correct. And because if the deputy is highly trained and can understand where that individual is coming from, then it is much easier to verbalize what it is, even though they're naked. And being naked in public is a crime,
Yeah.
but there is not the same intent
Yes.
with someone with disabilities. And we can verbalize things like that.
Yes. So this is great. So tell me, how does the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office get involved with the community, the autism community, how you guys support all the fun stuff you guys do, and also how do you know, help be a voice for some of those families that don't want to call in, that don't want to be heard or unseen? Because we do have some families that live off the grid. So
Yeah.
how do you guys support them?
So I think it's important to understand that the Sheriff's Office is no different than any other community, and we too are affected by autism. We have so many deputies with either children or family members
Yes.
as well, and so we're very proactive in our involvement. I think it is in building that trust that we can be helping our community. So we participate in runs
Okay.
for autism. We actually have one deputy in particular that has an annual event for their child, and so we go out there with our support dogs
Aw.
and our horses as well. Additionally, we have our vehicle that's completely decorated in support of autism, and we bring that vehicle out to community events as well to show our support. It is so important to us that the community know that we're here to serve, and so please don't be afraid to call us if you're in need.
Sheriff Rosie, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for yourself and all your deputies, everything you guys do for the community, your support. Please make sure to follow her at Sheriff_Rosie on Instagram and the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office on Instagram for all the information, all the upcoming events. And again, thank you for your service.
Thank you.